peoples of the worldwide federated internets. What is good? I'm very thankful when God teaches me a lesson without making a foolish mistake. Yo, people, what it do? Pride is something. Pride is something, man. Pride is something that I think we all have and we all act like we don't have. But when you look at the landscape of social media, it's clearly evident that there's a lot of us filled with pride. I lump myself in there. That's why I say a lot of us. I don't make myself separate from everybody else. I deal with pride too. But yesterday, God helped me out. He sat me down, and I will explain what I mean. So I was reading. I actually happened to be, I can't remember exactly why I was in the book of Proverbs, but I was in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16. And if you look at verse 18, it says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before fall. Better is it to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud." Pride does bring destruction. So there was a story that was, came out. A friend of mine sent me the link about this doctor. His name is Bing Liu. He's a researcher out of the University of Pittsburgh. He was murdered, and then the guy who murdered him committed suicide. When my friend sent me the link, my initial reaction was, I need to talk about this. And then I was like, you know what? Why do I need to talk about this? Just because it's a breaking story? Like, what do I think? I'm some kind of journalist? I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy with a thought, a guy that has opinions, likes talking about stuff online. So I said, all right. Forget that. I'm just going to let that story lie, let it do what it do. I seen some people talking about it. I watched some stories. Some people had some theories that, he was killed because he was on the cusp of a breakthrough in his COVID research. Look, man, I don't have the details. Maybe that still is the case, but the little bit of details I do have, I don't think that's the case. So I waited, I sat on a story, read some articles. I read like 4 or 5 articles. I read an article on CNN, Fox News, Epoch Times, Washington Post, and then there was a local paper in Pittsburgh, or a local website, the Post Gazette or something like that. I'll put the link in the description of my YouTube video. So in that, the investigators talked about the fact that I guess they found evidence that he was in a dispute with the guy who murdered him. The guy that got murdered, his name was Bing Liu, and the guy who murdered him, his name is Hao Gu. I know I'm probably destroying these names, but you can see it in the article I'll post. Both of Chinese descent, and the investigator found evidence pointing to the fact that they were in a dispute over a mutual intimate partner. Now, Bing Liu was married and his wife wasn't there when he got murdered. I don't know if maybe his wife was cheating on him with this dude, or he was cheating on his wife with this dude's girlfriend, or they had a mutual interest. I don't know. Maybe that's not even, the case. This is what the investigators are saying, so that's all I have to go on. But in this era of social media and the mass sharing and mass gathering of information, there's a lot of people that just want to be right, that want to come out with a story and want to be the first to deliver it. I think it was Denzel Washington that made the statement. He said, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't watch the news, you're not informed. So what is a person to do? Look, there's enough fake news in the news media. I don't need to help them out. If I don't know, I stay away from it. Look, there's a lot of people online that are pros. I leave these topics that are not necessarily, one way or another. I leave it to the pros. If I don't have an opinion, if I don't have hard facts, hard evidence, if I don't have receipts, I'm going to stay away from it. I've been guilty of saying stuff without having receipts. I've been guilty of it and been dead wrong. So now I just say, you know what? If I don't know, I don't really have a need to say anything about it. But in this social media age, I think we just feel like we got to talk about it. I got to say something. I got to comment on it. I don't know. If I don't know and I don't have details, it's probably best for me to just shut up. I am not a reporter. I am not the holder of all truth. I am not all knowing. I don't have a crystal ball that I can just go to and say, oh yes, this is what really happened in this story. Listen to me because I really have the truth and nobody else has it. I'm just a guy with a thought. That's all I am. I am nothing more. You might enjoy my thoughts. You might not enjoy my thoughts, but understand I am just a guy with a thought. But there's a lot of people who feel the need to be right. I've been there before. So as a check against my own bias, if I don't really know, I'm just like, I don't know. I can't really prove that. So this is what I think, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It's not about sitting on a fence. It's about knowing what you can prove and knowing what you can't prove. There's some things that I have receipts for that I can get into a discussion and say, well, no, this is what I think. And here's why I think that. Boom, boom, boom. Here are the facts. And there's other things where I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of circumstantial evidence. I don't know. This is what I think. Maybe it's not true. But in this age of mass information gathering and sharing, there are the people that just want to be first to say something about it. I am not that guy. For those of you who are new, following my YouTube channel, or if you're following me on Instagram, or if you watch my videos on Facebook, I don't know everything. And there's probably a lot of stories going around that you're not going to hear me talk about because I don't know. Now, if there's a story I get some details on, there's some things I can prove, I got receipts, hey, I'll come with it. Other than that, I am going to keep it to myself. Stay frosty, people.